So welcome everyone to the acoustic set as we go unplugged with today's rock star legend, Mr. Jack McGuire. Now let me, before we get this pro in to actually start talking about how wonderful he is, and we're going to allow this, let me give you a little bit of a backdrop. He is the founder of Awareness Ties. He's been executive producer of the Hollywood Film Festival, and I assume his lovely wife, J&A Productions, which is a digital media company. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring on today's rock star, Jack McGuire. How are you doing, Jack?
I'm doing great, Paul. Thank you for having me. And you're the rock star.
Oh, you see, we've got a bromance right off the thing. Perhaps if I'm really lucky, I can join the band and get a Access All Areas pass. So I can only live in hope.
It's on its way.
So, Jack, tell us a little bit more about you.
Okay, well, I think, therefore I am. That's about it. No,
I like that. Short, sweet, but, and don't worry, we're going to make up for lost time here because we're not going to let you get away that easily. So we're going to come to the stage where actually we can go properly unplugged. So enough of this. Enough of that. And we're now going to bring in the Get to Know Jack for real.
Oh.
Okay, for those of you who haven't seen this, you're going to get to know and love this part. So I am about to pick as many random questions as we can do in, say, 5 minutes. If we're having fun, we may go a little bit longer. But we're going to pick some random questions here for our rock star to answer. So you ready, Jack?
I am so very ready.
Here we go. Okay, the balls are coming down.
No pressure.
That one went on the floor. Sorry, that was meant to happen at that point. You feeling nervous?
A little bit. I think you're stirring the balls too much there.
Can you ever stir balls too much? I don't know. Maybe a debate for another day. Right. All right, here we go, my sire. We have, how old do I look here with that? So 55, number 55.
Right.
Nearly my age, nearly. So let's have a look. What have I got down at number 55? What was your first job?
My first job, believe it or not, was a paperboy.
Ah, how old?
I was 14 or 13. Well, maybe 12 or 13. I was young. It was
Did you do the throw the papers like that? Like
I did. I got them on my bike, pedaled around, threw them, all of it.
Nice. I used to remember playing something called Paperboy on the computer where you actually had to throw stuff.
That was around the same time. So yeah, on ColecoVision or Commodore 64. Back in the day.
Oh, anyone who's a millennial now, we're talking in a completely different language, but keep up. We're on to our next question. Here we go. So what ball we have next? We have number 49. Number 49. Let's see what we have here. What has been your biggest fashion disaster?
Funny you should ask.
Well, hey, when it gets to be that good, it starts to become cool again. It comes round in a circle.
But legitly, I had a mullet with spiky hair in 7th or 8th grade. So I had the long hair, and then my dad was like, "We need to get you short hair." I'm like, "But not the back." So that has probably been me.
I'm going to let you run with that one. Right, let's pick the next one. What have we got here? We have got number 7, lucky for some. Let's see if it's going to be lucky for you. What is your favorite item of clothing?
A tie?
Yes.
A
Yes.
tie.
Go on. I can see you're itching to tell us about the tie.
Clearly, I mean, that would be a great setup, but an ascot. Like if I could redo everything, it'd be an ascot. Like I would wear an ascot to every event. I would bring an ascot back in style. Like that would be my favorite.
I love it. It wasn't a setup, but how beautiful is that anyway? So Right, number 33. 33.
My age.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I'm closer to the 55 than the 33.
Are you good at keeping secrets?
Depends on what the secret is.
We have a level to secret for you, I can see. So
I'd say absolutely not. We run a magazine.
that's not going to get you into trouble anywhere, trust me. So good answer there. You dodged that one. It was coming at you. So let's go for the next one here. What we got? We have got number 60.
All right.
What celebrity impersonation can you do, and can you do it now?
No. Let's think. No, more my things are like I can do a Scottish accent or an Irish accent or like bloody hell. That's about it.
Almost English. So
I can fake French for a minute. I can say pardon. And that's it.
You're going to definitely make it in Quebec, don't worry. So we're going to move on now because that could go on for a while. So let's have a look. What number? We've got number 73, the year I was born. True fact. I'm not meant to be sharing, but now I am.
I was born a year after that.
Immortal. So what's the first thing you thought about when you woke up this morning?
It's 5:30 and I hope our little man's happy when I go get him.
You're a family man, what can I say? I'm going to do a couple more because I feel we're on a bit of a roll to actually uncover the real Jack here. So let's see what we'll do. 2 more and then we're going to move on with the rest of the show. Here we go. Last 2. Number 31. We'll get this far more slick, this part here. What food do you crave the most?
I don't know if beer's a food, but if it was.
It is now.
Got calories like a food.
Hey, your first answer, we'll accept your first answer. And and finally, number 69. If your 5-year-old self suddenly found themselves inhabiting your current body, what would your 5-year-old self do first?
What is this belly you have?
If you tell me what your 5-year-old does, it's entirely up to you. 5-year-old, just imagine a 5-year-old now in the grown Jack body.
Yeah, I don't know, probably eat peanut butter out of the jar.
Oh, you've now just given every 5-year-old and every parent now a whole new thing to look at. So let's push this away as we then go into a little bit more about what you do and where you are.
All right.
So tell us then, Awareness Ties, this is something you've been a co-founder of, a fantastic idea. What brought you to Awareness Ties?
Well, with all seriousness, when I was young and 5, I thought my whole purpose in life was to change the world. That was my goal. Like, I'm going to change the world, aspiration. And then life happens and life happens. And then I did the military and I did modeling and I did soap operas and I did crazy stuff. And then that dream kind of dissipates. And then you find an ally who was the catalyst of my dreams again. So her yin and yang worked perfectly with mine, and we figured a way that we could change the world, story by story, person by person.
I love it. And remind me again, what sort of reach has the magazine got just by itself?
Well, currently the magazine has a 16 million average readership per month.
That's a huge, huge amount. Well, congratulations. It's a fantastic achievement and super, super good production. So one of the magazines I only read from cover to cover. So anyone else out there, impress me.
Well, you had the best analogy for it in the past. It's like a fine dessert. It's decadent, and it can only be taken in little by little, because each story is it's either inspirational, it's powerful, or it's moving in some way that you can't digest it all at once.
I totally agree.
What was your idea? Yeah.
Oh. What does awareness mean to you?
Awareness means clearly being aware, but what Allie and I set out to do is open people's minds to accept awareness and change. Like when you can open someone's mind and they can be aware that change is possible, that we have to be aware or we're stuck in the same path. Everything is path driven, and it's about breaking the path and opening your mind and just really knowing you can do something.
So it's kind of the start of where everything, that's the beginning of all the journeys, isn't it?
It is. You have to be aware of your next step or you can't take it.
I love it. It's and I can very easily see how then you've become able to follow that step and then create the awareness ties for us all. So
progression, and it just, we realize that we can't change the world by ourselves. It's each and one of these individual stories that can open someone's mind, that can help someone be aware, that is changing the world. So I like to always say, if you can change one person in your house, first you got to change yourself. Then you can change one person in your house, and then you can change maybe a block of people. Then you can change maybe a city, then a state, then who knows? But it all starts. It's not one big bang. It's a progressive awareness, and that's what we're shooting for with each story.
Brilliant. And in so many different areas, and it's like you've got a number of ripples in lots of different directions.
Right, and that's by design, because everything's connected. People are like, wow, you stand for all these causes. And, well, absolutely, because not just one, every person has more than one cause that they're connected to, every single person. So why silo it? Why not make it the human cause? Why not bring it all together? We're all on the same team. I don't, if you're LGBTQ or have cancer, we're all fighting for life,
I love it. It's such a pure vision, and I think that is what actually makes it so beautiful. So wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Well, now we're going to come to your breakout moment, where I'm going to give the stage over to you by asking you what has been one of your aha unplugged moments which has then made your life as magical.
Actually, I have them quite often. Every day I'm growing, I feel, and especially with what we're doing, there's an aha every couple of days at least. Like, it's like, oh, that's why we're doing, oh, that's what we're doing. But my aha thought is, I always hear people saying, I would die for that. I would absolutely die for that. I would do everything to die for that. And dying's easy. What do you want to live for? So living's harder. Like, that's, if it doesn't give you inspiration, if it doesn't make you glow, if it doesn't, then what are you doing? I mean, you have to want to live for it.
I love that. And
that's my biggest aha. Like, don't die for it, live for it.
No, you're absolutely right. And the society has got all the speeches like that the wrong way around. Or I'd kill for that, but that implies a destructive event. So
that's another point. Rarely will you hear me a negative. It's always, I want positive, because a positive thought is a positive outcome. Always. Even if something doesn't go your way, you can still find the positive in it. Like, oh, okay, well, I mean, even in your circumstance, by leaps and bounds, I mean, maybe if that didn't happen, something different, much more tragic way would have. Who knows what transpired by that choice, and to not take it as a negative and be a positive, and look where you are. Amazing.
I love that, and that is super inspiring. Oh my God, the crowd are going crazy behind me now. So let's share, because they're going to want to know what has been or is one of your inspiring quotes or mantras?
It is, I will no longer ask for permission to change the world. And that's something Allie and I came up with at the beginning of this. And it's like, you know what? We're not going to ask permission. We're not going to ask anyone to do this. We're going to just do it. So we'll no longer ask permission to change the world. I might ask for your help.
But asking for help is different from asking for permission, isn't it? Because when you ask for permission, it's there's an imbalance in the relationship, whilst asking for help.
Take the lead instead of be a follower, right?
Exactly. And I know a lot of people get stuck on that part of always constantly having to ask people's permission.
Right. And just that, I mean, anything's possible. Allie and I have this conversation all the time. She's like, oh, I don't think, I'm like, we can. It's always a choice. Yes is always a choice. There's always an option.
I love it. I mean, that so aligns with everything you're doing and everything you've said so far. So, I can see it's really hardwired. I wonder if you could take us back to when things weren't so good, when there was a difficult moment that you've had to overcome.
That gets hard for me because, like I said, I've always been positive. But I mean, my childhood was really, really rough. So I damaged a lot of people after my childhood because of my childhood was so rough, and I had such a barrier, and I had to learn what got instilled in me in my childhood, that I was lashing out with people or making bad decisions, just not even knowing. And up until Allie, like, I had to really figure out, how to get my past aligned with my future. And that's probably been the hardest part, just realizing my problems and what caused them and how to fix them.
There's so many people listening who I know, and I can identify with that, and that's such genuinely good advice.
It's something I live. It's something that I definitely you have to work on it. You have to work on yourself every day. The only thing you can actually control are your choices. And that's the hardest thing sometimes.
Exactly, because to every action and choice, the ancestor is a thought. So you're right. Wow. I mean, again, I can see the parallels there. That's amazing.
Right.
Well, let's change to something slightly more rock starish. Could you tell me your favorite song and why?
Well, I love Radiohead. I've always loved Radiohead. Tom York is amazing to me. And there's a song called Ingenue. And it just has a beautiful line that says, I misheard what you said. Just give me more time. It says, the seeds of a dandelion, they float away. I misheard what you said. Just give me more time. And just how it flows, it just really like, because at the beginning of the song, he's thinking, the seeds of the dandelion float away and make more. But she was saying, like, the dreams die. And at the end, he's like, just give me more time. I misheard what you said, right? So it's really cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, a fantastic story. And you see, that's the power of songs and poetry. They're able to say what we would say in normal language, but in so much wonderful terms. So
right.
I love it. Great. If you haven't heard that song before, go out and listen to it, and you will hear it like that will just jump out at you. So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So look, what are you working on right now? What is actually in your mix at the moment?
Well, I'm going to shift gears on you a little bit here and actually talk a little bit about this Unplugged, because this is what we're doing now. So everyone, if you're watching this, you're probably aware that Mr. Rogers here is in Awareness Ties family. He's been with us for a while now, and he came up with this amazing idea to, you know, shake it up a bit and get to know our Awareness Ties family a little better. And where most interviews, you know, they try to get you out of your comfort zone. This interview is completely different. It's trying to get you in your comfort zone. Talk about the things you're comfortable with, the things you know the most. So, I mean, in his brilliance and his beyond inspirational self, it's a pleasure to do this AwareNow live with you, or Unplugged. And I think I did call it live earlier too, but Unplugged.
Oh, you know, I usually have a little game I play with my guests before they come on that I try to make them blush. You're not meant to do it back to me. So, but thank you. I appreciate you, both Ali and yourself. I appreciate the opportunity, and I love both of your vision. And so where is your vision at the moment? Because I know things will change with you, because you have your ahas very regularly. What actually at this very minute is your vision?
Well, we're always like a five-headed beast of a thing. So the magazine, we have the release coming out, and that's a monthly magazine, online magazine. Flora Cash is on the cover this month, which is amazing. So the magazine is always a constant. We're always trying to get better at that, be more inspirational, get impactful stories, just, you know, share. We just know that sharing one person's story can change so many people, and that's where it's at. Because we started Awareness Ties as a conversation starter, a tie to start a conversation. Now we're making the conversations to raise awareness. So magazine, podcast, and the podcast is beautiful because it takes the stories directly out of the magazine. It's just easier access. I mean, even driving or whatever. So eventually the whole magazine will be a podcast. So it's verbatim, each interview, everything is verbatim. And then we have the talk show, which is beautiful and on KNEKT TV, streams on Roku and Apple. Other than that, we were working on our first award show.
Wow.
Our official selections, and we're either toying with that will be live, in person live, or online. We're not sure yet. We would love to be able to do a get together with everyone, but we'll see how it pans out.
That would be, I mean, to be seeing each other, and you know, it's like I've never actually came and given you a hug or a handshake, and so although we know each other, it would just be so nice for that. And I think we didn't ever realize how important that part was until we couldn't do it anymore.
Right. You can learn so much from a handshake or seeing someone's eyes directly. Like there's something that can't replace that. I mean, Zoom will never replace that. So one day we'll get there.
Yeah. Tell me, because I love this side. Tell me a little bit more about the periodic table, how that came about, and what that represents.
See, and it's so easy to forget some of these beautiful things, because so the table, you know, we're toying with the idea of how do we connect all these causes, these important causes together, and then it was almost like an aha moment, like, well, duh, let's do our chart. Let's do a table of causes, with unity and human cause being the top two, and everything comes from unity. Everything stems down, just like the elements, and they're just all related. And it's just, I'm so excited to really do events with the human cause, so we can bring other causes together. So so it's not so siloed. So we can play as a team.
I love that. And you know what? You've just made everyone's chemistry lesson a damn sight easier by doing that, because trying to remember that at school was really difficult. So thank you. That's very memorable. And the public can also get involved in your magazine. How do they do that?
Well, by subscribing, you're saying?
And the selfies. Talk with me a bit about selfies.
Selfie support, that's something we're still rolling out a little bit. So we're doing a selfie support where you can take a picture and show your support for any cause that you're related to, or the human cause. And you can be placed in our magazine with your story, with anything you'd like anyone to know about you. So
I love that, because it's all inclusive. It's all inclusive. It's not just one people inside the bunker firing stuff out. It's actually a whole worldwide. So I love the connection.
I love seeing, like a veteran next to cancer, next to Black Lives Movement. I mean, just anything with it. It's powerful. It's just powerful to see everyone together.
I love it. I love it. Well, look, where can we find you? Where can we get hold of you guys? The crowd behind me are asking for an encore. So this is the encore. Where can we get hold of you?
So awarenessties.us is our main website. However, we do a lot of stuff through Instagram, and it'd be Awareness Ties.
Awesome. And I know you're very active on Instagram, and
it feels like the right medium for us.
Yes. Well, it's very visual, and that's very striking. So brilliant. Well, look, guys, you know where to find this rock star. I hope you've enjoyed this wonderful unplugged acoustic set with a very, very special man. I don't think I can sum up, because the crowd are already crying your name. So I am going to exit stage left, and I will allow you to enjoy the applause. Thank you once again, Jack. And my name's Paul Rogers, and we'll see you on the next Unplugged. Aware Now.
Thank you.